lots of feelings about Sig Sauer and how they are the...
Just about the P320, because what he will not admit is he shot the X Macro, 365 X Macro, and he liked it.
Yeah. And guess what? We're building a Sig... I'm building a macro at home that's going to shoot so much better than... and it's going to be about a third of the price and do twice the work.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yes, don't let me down, PSA.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of Live, Laugh, Larp. My name is Mark, and I really do appreciate everybody swinging by. This podcast is your go-to for keeping you above ground, regardless if that is with a firearm, with other types of personal defense techniques, or fitness. Fitness is a big attribute to staying alive and staying healthy as well. So we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of different things, and I just really am glad that you're here to join the ride. So I am joined by my co-host. He goes by Jefe Actual on the Instagrams. How you doing, Jefe?
We've been here again way too long trying to figure out this microphone thing. It's been about going on like 90 minutes just trying to figure out what the super expensive microphone just kept on feeding back on everything.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And we ended up just moving to a inexpensive freebie, hand-me-down, as you were. Okay, so one of the things that I want to do in this first episode is just kind of give a really brief kind of elevator introduction to myself and my co-host. Once again, my name is Mark. I am a YouTuber. I run a channel called Fit and Fire. If you guys have never heard of it, you probably haven't, and that's okay. But if you guys are interested, you can swing on by YouTube and just look up Fit in Fire and watch the abomination of videos that I have on there.
He loves the Tauruses.
That's true. So a little bit more about me is I am a 11-year active duty vet of the U.S. Army. I spent 7 years as a tanker and then 4 years as a logistics officer. So collectively 13 years with 2 years active duty to do green and gold, but I was still contracted with the military, so I wasn't going anywhere. Since I got out and became a civilian, I dove into concealed carry and making sure that I had ways to protect myself, my friends, my family, my household, all that type of stuff. I have, I would say, over 120 hours worth of firearms instruction from people like Masada Abyub, James Yeager, RIP, some other people like John Lovell and Chris Costa. My co-host actually took that class with me. That was a good time.
It was wet.
It was
super
wet. It was super wet. So
not the good kind of wet.
All right. So, Jefe, why don't you go ahead and give us your elevator introduction?
Okay. So, my name's Jefe. That's what my friends affectionately call me. We spent about 2 hours most days just talking in a parking lot or not working out about stupid stuff, guns, fitness, end of the world stuff, comic books, video games, TV. So we decided to try to monetize it and make a podcast out of it. So I can at least tell my wife that I'm doing something productive when I sit and talk with Mark for about 2 hours. Just a little bit about me. I have some time in law enforcement, some time in the military, and a whole lot of time behind guns. So I figured it'd be a fun time to sit here and have a couple beers on a Thursday evening just before the great big next invitada and figure out, just find some weird stuff to talk about and bring some smooth brain opinions to this channel.
Yeah, so today is October 12th. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th, and supposedly there's supposed to be some type of...
So I'm going to interrupt. Hot take. What's if like Hamas actually has brought back like Freddy and Jason and everything like that, and that's what they're trying to allude to, is that they're actually bringing back all the big namers of the Halloween series. Friday, October 13th is the big day when it's supposed to all hit the fan. So we all terrorized by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Freddy, Jason, and all the likes of them.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting to say the least. I can tell you that I was hoping for zombies in the last apocalypse, and we didn't get that. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow at the very least. So
Probably nothing, but I mean, especially where we're at. I mean, the I think the only synagogue that we have is actually in someone's basement of their house. It's kind of a weird thing, and you can't even Google it if you don't know it's here. You don't know it's here, so
that's one of the big pluses of living kind of in suburbia. We're far away from any major metropolis, so we don't have to really worry about that type of stuff. But let's get into the actual topic of today's podcast. And this kind of stems back to a discussion that Jefe and I had at the range. We were out there shooting, and I noticed that Jefe was shooting low left, and I was like, God, you suck so bad. Why are you...
This guy is fake. He's fake news, everybody. You're the enemy of the people, and I will not tolerate that on this podcast. Thank you very much.
That is the worst Trump impersonation ever.
Yeah, my wife hates it, but it's just so fun to pull out. It's like a weird Eric Cartman Trump.
But realistically, I actually had a commenter on one of my videos. Ironically enough, someone commented about how bad I was shooting with my competition shooting, utilizing a $350 Turkish Glock clone. And so...
Garbage, don't buy it.
Yeah, that kind of spurred a conversation in my driveway when I was handing off... I don't know, what was I giving you? I don't even remember.
Probably a handy or something like that.
It was not a handy. I reserved those for myself. But the
it was the shield mags that we're going to break tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. So anyway... The biggest thing was talking about, I shoot competitions, and I don't consider myself a competition shooter. I take my firearms to competition shoots to put myself under stress, to try to shoot as fast and as accurate as I possibly can. But I'm not concerned about splits. I'm not concerned about, winning. I'd like to be kind of middle of the pack, and I sure would like not to be last. But sometimes that happens, so, and that just kind of spurred a bit of a discussion, further that, what is the difference between shooting for reality and shooting in a competition? And so, Jefe, what was some of the points that you wanted to make about that?
So, I think the overall kind of theme that I was trying to get at, and granted, I have like about 3.5 brain cells left, and I'm killing one right now with a Yingling. Not sponsored, by the way. The idea that we have kind of, in essence, we have a competition style of shooting compared to a if you look like IPSEC, where you're running, $2,000-$3,000 race guns and gamer rigs and gamer guns, and then you have that kind of juxtaposed to the average concealed carry shooter that's probably carrying, some sort of garbage SIG that they bought from the pawn shop because they didn't know anything about it, and the guy behind the counter said, "Hey, SIG 365, that's a great handgun." Or read too much Jack Carr novels. And the gap between them, there's a lot that translates between the two. If anyone loves our current Vice President, Kamala Harris, and Venn diagrams, I'm also going to use that analogy as well, is that you have a class of competition shooters that are gaming with their rigs compared to what we carry every day. If you carry, again, the SIG, Glock, and Enigmas, or Ankles, or pocket carry a revolver, it's just there's a difference in the two, and it's the one that kind of really opened my eyes up was, if anyone looks at any sort of the Shivworks. I cannot remember the guy's name off the top of my head that runs that company. But if you watch a lot of their training videos, it's has to do a lot with more than shooting fast draws, and your splits. It's a lot of dealing with people, dealing with space. Because I don't know if anybody, if this is something that gets brought up a lot, but gunfights aren't, you're 5 yards with two targets at 1 yard distances. On the buzzer, you're going to hit 3 A zones and 2 headshot boxes in whatever splits you can. Someone's probably going to be already on top of you. Someone's going to be grappling with you. And so it's just like the skills just don't translate 100%. Now, I'm not saying that they don't help in the execution. Now, that's not the word I want to use. No, it's not probably not the right word. The actual administration of defensive shootings, and this, like, if you practice defensive shootings, they don't translate directly into competition shooting. But there's a kind of a gap. You kind of have to be somewhere in the middle. And what really spurred all that was because the person that on, the nameless, faceless person on YouTube that keeps everybody up at night with their mean comments, talked a lot about the competition side of shooting, and some of the gamer stuff that comes out of that, rather than what some of the focus that Mark brings to his channel, where it's more of the 2A lifestyle, where you wear Solomons and tactical pants everywhere you go, and have about 18 different things clipped to your pockets.
It's actually Ultimas.
Ultimas now?
Ultimas.
Are we doing Ultimas now?
Well, I don't know.
Or on Cloud 9s are supposed to be pretty cool.
Are they? I don't
know
anything about those.
Like, everyone's getting them. Don't get them. They're terrible for your feet. I don't wear comfortable shoes. You shouldn't wear comfortable shoes. They're bad for your feet.
What shoes are you wearing?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Because I'm wearing Ultimas, not every day, but...
the pieces.
Those green ones? Yeah.
No, they're garbage. They're garbage.
Yeah.
I had a set. I bought a pair of them because I thought they were cool, and they were I think they were on sale for like $80, and I wore them for like 2 days, and I burned the nastiest hot spot in the bottom of my foot that I've ever had. And then you find out they're made in Korea, and then you're just like, yeah, well, I mean, granted, doesn't make what shoes I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing the Vans like long terrain or extra terrains boots because it was raining outside when I walked outside, so I guess I can't complain too much.
Well, I'm wearing Crocs, so I really.
We're also in your house though.
Yeah.
So that kind of is not.
Well, technically, it's not my house. I'm just paying rent.
Yeah. You lives in his girlfriend's basement.
Yeah. Hey, it's helping pay the rent on the land, so that's been a big plus. So
I know I just went on my somewhat borderline autistic rant about the competition versus defensive shooting. Mark, what was your takes on it? Because that was like 6 beers ago and I don't remember.
But yeah, and that's the biggest thing is for me is my argument was, hey, look, I'm not a competition shooter.
So don't competition at me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I'm trying to put myself under stress and shoot as best I possibly can with this firearm that I'm reviewing this week, because I know that next week I'm reviewing something completely different. And yeah, my splits on my trigger pulls are going to be, 3/100ths of a second or 3/10ths of a second or whatever it is. I mean, they're going to be pretty slow, but I'm not a competition shooter, because one of the biggest things is I realize that when I pull the trigger in a defensive situation, every single bullet that I launch down range has a price tag to it. And if
it's like 80 cents right now, because the price of ammo is getting out of hand.
It is getting out of hand, but I'm talking more of the civil lawsuit side of things. So if I were to launch a bullet down range and it doesn't hit my intended target, and it hits something that I don't intend for it to hit, then that's a lawsuit right there that I'm not willing to get involved in. So I would rather shoot slow in a competition and have some footage of me reviewing this pistol so people know that, hey, I actually went out and spent the $200-300 on a case of ammo to look into how reliable this pistol is and talk about my experience shooting it, rather than try to burn down a range with 2 magazines and win a competition. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get into a situation where I can be under stress and still shoot fairly well. And that's what competitions do for me. I don't try to go and shoot with any type of gaming rig. Usually, if I am using something other than a concealed carry holster, it's a Blackhawk Omnivore, because that allows me to use pretty much any pistol as long as there's a TLR1 HL attached to it. So that's kind of my point of view of it, and I do encourage people to go to competitions and to shoot under stress with your concealed carry pistol in the way that you carry it, if they allow you to do that. The competitions that we have here locally allows me to carry appendix and draw from appendix.
Based IDPA.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a wildcat competition because it's a little bit IDPA, it's a little bit USPSA, and it's not really sanctioned by anybody. So that's what makes it a lot of fun. And so that's the biggest thing. But so that then brings me into kind of the next phase of that discussion is, you know, I've talked to you about this time and time again. I can't shoot a Glock to save my life.
I've seen it. Can't confirm, guys.
I hate to admit this. It's embarrassing to talk about this, but you talk about shooting low left, and that is me every single day. You switch me up to my CZ P10C. You switch me up to a Walther PDP, or even the P365X Macro Comp, which is another EDC pistol of mine, and I do really well. But you put a Glock in my hand, and I love Glocks. I'm not hating on Glocks. I have a Glock 19.
He's hating on Glocks. He hates
I am
Glocks.
not hating on Glocks.
This man will look at Gaston Glock in his eyes and reject the gift of the perfect safe action pistol every time.
No,
and then shoot it low and left, and then blame the handgun. And that even happened with the dagger video that you did.
You did. It really did.
It's not just Gaston Glock's perfection. It's also the repros of it. I'm surprised that you didn't shoot the Turkish garbage that you had me shoot the other day. Was the X-Fire? I'm not allowed to bash that, right?
You can say whatever you want. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think it's actually a really interesting pistol because, metal frame Glock is the first one that I've ever seen. I know there's a few other out there, but I've got it with my gunsmith right now. He's doing a deep dive on it to see what parts compatibility there is between this and a Glock Gen 3 and a Glock Gen 5. But I digress. The interesting thing, though, and this is something I want to pitch to you, is you've seen it firsthand. I really struggle with a Glock. I don't want to struggle with a Glock because I do like them. However, because of those issues, that's why I prefer carrying my P365X Macro or the CZP10C. So what needs to happen to fix that?
You shoot Glocks. It's really simple. No, so the hard thing with what the position you're put in, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, is that part of your shtick is that you get a bunch of different handguns and you try them out, and you have to put 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 rounds through some of them, and no handgun is generally the same. And you can kind of break them down to some basic levels. Like you have your 1911s that are generally the same. If you pick up a Gerson 1911 and you pick up a Nighthawk, they're going to shoot relatively the same as when it comes to grip, the sights and everything like that. The price tag is going to be completely different, and the quality of the firearm, one's going to double feed on you all the time, and one's going to cost you 2 mortgages. But then, so the unique thing about Glock is, and I'm going to say it, and everyone's going to say, oh yeah, it's brought up, is the grip angle. Grip angle is everything with the Glock. I remember sending you like 2-3 videos of it. It's more of a this guy had this great explanation of it. It's most handguns, the natural kind of pointing action with your grip is with your trigger fingers, and then with Glock it's your thumbs. So if you pick up that garbage cig that's on the table right now and point it with your red dot and look through it, you're going to notice that your trigger fingers on both hands are going to be generally level and kind of pointing towards targets, and your thumbs are kind of be out in the nether. Glock thumbs are forward, which gives you a superior wrist angle and a more stronger grip on your handgun, and that's why Gaston Glock, it was, I dare say, I hate saying it out loud, but he's the Browning of our generation. He was the guy that came up with the perfect blueprint for a modern handgun, especially when it comes towards striker fire handguns. This guy was a legend.
And I don't see a reason why you should hesitate to say that. I mean, every generation.
Because you know what's going to happen is there's going to be a million people get on there like, well, I can't shoot a Glock. I love my Taurus G2C.
Well, they're going to have to listen to the podcast first.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, so all three of you listening right now, I want you to do me a favor and just go to your local like pawn shop or gun store and go buy like a evidence locker Glock for about $250 to $400. It's depending on what you can find, and put 1,000 rounds on it and point your thumbs instead of point your fingers and tell me how much better that feels.
You know, and the funny thing about it is last night when, I was toiling around in my gun room, I picked up my Glock 19 and I did exactly what that video said and pointed with my thumbs. And every single time I pointed, that red dot was right in that window each and every single time.
It's almost like
he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, crazy.
So crazy.
And that's kind of my biggest thing is I get that there is a kind of a unique feeling when it comes to like, hey, I carry it. I'm picking on you because it's easy target, punch low, punch down. I carry a CZ P10C with my O-Light and my I don't even there's like 6 red dots on this table. I'm trying to find the cheapest one, but
okay, it has a 509T on it.
Okay, I mean,
and it has a TLR7.
TLR7, okay. I mean,
I actually spent some money on it.
Yeah, I spent $120 on my light, and then I put another. I mean, I don't know what a 509T goes for. I bought one when it first.
I think it's like 300.
300 now. You probably buy used for that much, but yeah. So there's a kind of a nice feel to it. Like you'll see it everywhere. It's like, hey, I carry a staccato, and it's like the oh my god, there's a gentleman at a gun range. Oh my god, that's this gnome of a man. He's one of those guys that will see that you were shooting somewhat okay and then brag about a staccato and then bring it on out for you to play with. And he's a sweet man, salt to the earth, great dude. But we've got to the point where carrying these air quotes unique firearms to get either some sort of clout or to have some sort of talking point. It's kind of like, putting that nice book on your coffee table, so someone at least thinks you're interesting when they come over to your house. There's a reason why I think it's dropped down a bit, but like over 70% of all law enforcement carry Glocks, and there's a reason that's the case. One, they're relatively inexpensive. We all understand that, but they're just reliable, safe guns. They don't go off in your holsters. They don't.
Who does that?
Oh, Sig. Oh, yeah, Sig Sauer. I have lots of feelings about Sig Sauer and how they are the
just about the P320, because what he will not admit is he shot the X Macro, 365 X Macro, and he liked it.
Yeah. And guess what? We're building a Sig. I'm building a macro at home that's going to shoot so much better than, and it's going to be about a third of the price and do twice the work.
We'll see. We'll see.
Don't let me down, PSA. A lot of strong feelings about the industrial complex, military complex that is now Sig Sauer, and how they are essentially becoming just carrying water for government contracts. So they just do some shady stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It almost seems like there's a bit of corruption in everything.
It's almost like that they understand that there's a lot of money in government contracting, and they don't care about you as the random civilians anymore. They're going to be, I'm going to call it right now, 6 hours going to be the H&K in like the next 10, 15 years, where they're going to come out with this cool stuff. And the civilian populace is going to be like, oh yeah, we want that. We want the spears. We want this. And like, yeah, we're gonna hold off for 10, 15 years, and you might get it. You might get like a bastardized version, like, hey, you want G36? Well, how about let's give you an SL8 instead? That's cool, right? Let's give you this, Halo beam sword looking piece of shit that doesn't work. Or we're still like, when did the MP7 come out? Like 1970?
No, was it? I thought it was in the 90s.
No, it's either like late 70s or early 80s, if I can remember. Let me fact check myself.
Well, while he's looking that up, just know that the local shop, American Cash Exchange, they're one of the big supporters of not only the YouTube channel, but unknowingly they're going to be one of the big supporters of this podcast. Anyway, they have a SIG spear
developed in the 1960s.
No way.
Yeah, developed 1960 by H&K.
You've got to be kidding. That is ridiculous. And we still don't have it in the U.S. I bet you.
No, we got it. We got the SP5. It came out like 2 years ago.
You said the MP5. I was talking about the MP7.
Oh, MP7. No, okay, MP7. That was like mid 90s, if I remember.
Okay. So MP5, yes. Okay, I was.
But it took us, 60 years for us to get a civilian model to the state
from H&K.
From H&K itself, not from Turkey or from Paraguay or whatever. Who else?
Well, I wonder if you would have been able to get one prior to 84 in the U.S.,
we don't talk about such things.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, American Cash Exchange. They have one in 762 by 30. So this was so funny. There's a individual of mine who's a friend of mine who's recently come into procuring 1,000 rounds of 762 by 39, and they were like, hey, I'm pissed off with the original owner. I don't want to get rid of it all, and I want to buy a 762. What should I get? And apparently money is no object, so that rifle actually might be gone.
Well, that's fine. And actually, I think that for the spear, I think that 762 by 39 or 300 Blackout is a better round for that platform, because it really is made to suppress.
It's a $2,500 AR-15. It's sorry, and people are getting mad about that. It's a bufferless AR-15.
But it's FDE.
Yeah,
and it has a foldable stock.
Yeah,
and a monolithic rail.
Yeah. So pretty much every gun since.
And it takes Stanag Mag 762 by 39.
And that's a very big air quote. Stanag, NATO standard 762 by 39. That little, it has about the amount of curve as my.
No, we're not going to talk about that. I don't know anything about that.
It was my so I was a high school pitcher, and I has about I had a 3-foot breaking curveball. And I never threw it because I'm left-handed, and everyone just smacked it out of the park.
Oh, we've changed subject quite.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball.
We're talking about baseball. What are you talking about?
You started talking about high school and a picture, and I was like, whoa.
Pitcher, like high school pitcher.
Okay, got it. So the beer's starting to set in a little bit, but that's okay.
This gentleman had 2 Michelob Ultras, and he's already on the floor.
I haven't eaten anything today.
Well, that's
no. I take that back. I did eat something. I had.
It's going into nutrition and fitness.
Yeah.
Great segue.
Yeah, today was a bad day to be talking about that because
Hey, today is a good day. You didn't have to use your AK.
yeah, that's true. But before we get into the fitness aspect of it,
We still have something on the list
yeah,
that you
we
want to talk
do.
about?
We actually have notes. We're supposed to be following these.
You have notes. I have autism, so.
We actually wanted to talk about kind of a drill of the week or drill of the episode. This week, we're going to be talking about the bill drill.
I want to talk about my Hercules impact driver I got from Harbor Freight for like $69.99, and it came.
Is it still running?
Oh yeah, it's taken apart half a school bus, so it's still. So that's the drill of the episode. The Hercules impact driver Harbor Freight. They probably will have a special out in November where you buy like the battery. You buy the battery for like $80, and you get the tool for free. Pretty sweet. 24 volts.
Speaking of drills, Nan is going to end up picking up the Bog tripod from Ace. So like you've got one, right? It's the same one, right? It's a Bog.
Yeah, it's Bog. I don't remember which one I have. There's like 3 different ones. I got the one that was like $80 on Amazon because I'm poor.
Oh, that's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Well, it was. I think I got mine on like Black Friday or something like that, or Amazon Prime. One of their Amazon Prime days. So
Yep, that's good. That's fair enough.
then I spray painted it. It's gonna look so nice. You'll see it tomorrow.
Hey, yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of spray painting, I've got a couple rifles that need to be spray painted.
You have a lot of rifles on your spray
I
painted.
have 2 rifles that need to be spray painted.
This man has like 18 This man has 1 rifle and needs to be. No.
Yeah, that is not true. But all right, let's get the train back on the tracks here. So one of the drills that there's tons of different drills that we have done in the past. I know I've done, you've done. I actually did the last time I did the bill drill was with a yeet cannon, the YC9.
The High Point YC9. Definitely a handgun designed to bring back the 80s the 80s style of shooting when teacup gripping was all the rage.
Yep.
And
that is confirmed. Yeah. So,
do you have that video out? Is the video out?
No. Oh. I want to put the red dot on it, but the red dot mount that I had to purchase that I heard that you could get for free, but High Point's website is so clunky that
like their guns.
I couldn't figure out how to get my free mount. But it's like a doctor footprint, I think.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, they picked something stupid like that, like Doctor or Noblex. I think it's the other one, Doctor Noblex.
I'll need to. I think I do have. I think the.
I got some duct tape and a Dremel. We can figure it out.
Yeah, this probably work better than this plastic. It's literally like 3D printed plastic. I kid you not.
I need to get that 3D printer. I looked at it a bunch. So we're going to go on a little tism spree here. So 3D printed gun parts. I went on a spree. Like I have someone who hit me up and just trying to sell me a 3D printer, and I looked at all the stuff that you can print these days. Like I remember like a year and a half ago, it was like, hey, I printed a caddy so I can put my gun on my nightstand. It would sitting nice and pretty. The stuff you can print today, holy crap! The coolest one I found, like in my 10 or 15 minutes of looking, is it's like a coat hanger that allows cobra buckles to clip to, so you can like hang all your battle belts, like actually make them look nice and pretty instead of just kind of thrown in a box somewhere. So
you actually clip the belt
into it, and then you hang it up like a nice tie or something, or like a belt. So
the interesting thing with technology and 3D printing is that I know a certain company in the construction industry that I may or may not work for on a daily basis that is exploring the idea of 3D printing bucket teeth. So the teeth that like claw into the ground for like an excavator bucket or a wheel loader bucket
Or a killdozer.
or a killdozer. Yeah, they are actually testing the ability to 3D print those in metal.
It's weird. If I remember correctly, and I can't remember what company, there's already companies that are 3D printing metal items, and it's going to get to the point where you're going to have like an Ender 3 at your house just printing off like CNC items.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cool, and it's going to be
Like a Sam 7.
I mean, like, yeah, arsenals they're all milled.
They are now.
There's no stamped ones there. That was like the biggest disappointment of my life, was when I couldn't go visit the Arsenal factory when I was overseas. Yeah, thanks a lot, COVID.
Yeah, you should have gone to Serbia and saw the.
I saw Kujir. I was at actually Kujir, but some really mean guy in coveralls yelled at me in another language, and I couldn't go see the factory. But
You should have just flipped him off. But
show my passport. That's
exactly,
how that works,
exactly.
right?
Because you're American. He's showing the passport, and you're like, "Oh, excuse me."
So,
All right,
okay,
we're still
bill
talking
drill.
bill drill.
Bill drills.
Why would you want to do a bill drill?
Because everyone else does it on the internet, and it's cool.
Okay, well that's the show, everybody. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
there it goes. The internet told me to, so therefore I do it. Bill drills. So what the nice thing about bill drills are, and I kind of try to advocate this every time I find a drill to either do myself or try to show others so they can better themselves.
Some would say encourage.
Encourage. That's probably a better word, man.
He's 3 beers in.
Yeah, and I have eaten today, but I also did a lot of stuff and have been up since about 3:30 this morning. But irregardlessly,
That's not a word.
So yeah, whenever you try to find a drill, you have to find something that's always scalable, either by ammo count or by distance or by whatever restrictions that you come across. It's very easy to find these very complex drills, like prime example would be like the Mozambique drill or El Presidente, are very hard to set up in the range at your local local indoor range. But finding drills, bill drill, depending on your range, I guess you can't draw from a holster, but you can still kind of get the idea behind the bill drill. But you also do things like we do a modified dot torture a lot, where it's not the whole 50 rounds. I think it's only like 23 24, because it kind of sucks doing an entire $30 box of ammo or whatever. What's a 50 bucks? Like 50 rounds of ammo.
Well, I can buy one for $19.99.
$19.99 plus shipping and handling and taxes.
Well, tax anyway.
Yeah, everything like that. Plus theft. Yeah, sorry. I bought a bunch of like pandemic ammo and I haven't resupplied it yet, so it's been a while since I bought 9mm. So yeah, spending, $20, $22 on it, one drill seems a little intense. And then scalability for distance and platform. So it's something where you can go from, I'm doing this drill at 3 yards with my concealed carry J-frame revolver, all the way out to 15, 20, 30 yards with my battle rifle or whatever you decide to throw on your back and call it my go-to-war gun. So the nice thing about bill drill is that kind of meets that requirements is, hey, I can do a bill drill from 3 to 5 yards, or you can do it from 10 yards. I can do it from 15, 25 yards. I can do it with rifles. I can do it with handguns. It'd be cool to try it with a shotgun. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if a bill drill with a shotgun, 6 slugs, I would assume is what you would probably do, or just 6. I mean, you could do buckshot, but so yeah, bill drill. 6 rounds, and I don't remember the par time. I don't have any notes here.
2.5 seconds.
2.5 seconds.
I have no idea. I just made that up. But yeah, one of the biggest things is that you're going to make sure to do a bill drill at a range that will allow you to shoot more than one round a second.
7 yards, six rounds. I don't think there's any par times.
No. I think
it's just more one of those. You brag if you can do like a 2-second bill drill.
Yeah, I think realistically, if you can pull off a sub 2-second bill drill, I would say you're probably in the top 10%.
Yeah.
And that includes your draw as well from concealment.
Or from a level 3 holster, which I think you get time. It's so weird. What's weird about drills, I'm going to go on another TISM tangent here, is there's a lot of drills that they add seconds for different levels of retention, which makes sense, but no one has like a set standard. So you'll find some drills like, hey, you add like half a second for every level of retention you have on your holster. So if you have like an ALS and SLS holster, it's like, you get like an extra second and a half.
Yep.
Almost. Or
you could be like that one dude with the Serpa. I just fucking shot myself.
Yeah. I mean, that gentleman won the internet in all our hearts. Carry a tourniquet, everybody. Snake Staff Systems pocket tourniquet. I got one on me right now. I know Mark doesn't because he doesn't carry medical. But
what are you talking about? I've got a medical pack right over there on the island, on the peninsula.
that's the thing. Yeah, another tangent. If you can carry,
Oh no, that's going to be a whole nother episode.
Whole nother episode.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole nother episode on medical.
Here's just a teaser. Go to Snake Staff Systems, Instagram, YouTube, website. I don't know what the website is off the top of my head. Go buy one of their pocket tourniquets and just throw it in your pocket.
Does it actually fit in your pocket?
Yeah, I actually have one in my pocket right now.
Is that what the bulge is?
No, that's the Glock that's at home, or the Sig Macro that's at home.
Okay, so we've beaten that one to death.
So what? No, okay. We talked about. I talked about bill drill for like about 35 to 40 minutes now, about 10 minutes now. So what's your thoughts about the bill drill?
Well, the bill drill. To be frankly honest with you, I don't know why you would do it other than if you ever watch videos of police involved shootings, right? Like legit ones, like not like, oops, my bad, dude, I shouldn't have shot him, but like actual legit dudes coming at me with a firearm or a knife or whatever, and the police officer has to defend himself, regardless of
or themselves.
Thank you.
We're politically correct on this
correct.
podcast.
Regardless of how you feel about law enforcement, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about situations that we as a society have seen that, okay, yes, this is a good shoot. You will notice that individuals will unload 9, 12, 15 rounds. I think we've seen a fellow YouTuber who unloaded 15 rounds in less than a second and a half on a individual who would not comply and would not put down their firearm, and then started pointing their firearm at individuals. So
Mark's seen a YouTuber that's done that. I'm drawing a blank. I'm the worst in this space.
You don't watch Donut Operator, do you?
I watch. Oh, he has like his is it his thing, or
No,
he was reviewing one? Gotcha. He was reviewing something.
A YouTuber who was on the job. Who's?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. I'm now.
I don't want to talk about the individual.
This guy.
Yeah. What's that? What?
This guy. Put a thumb in it. Guy?
Oh no, not him. No. But another dude that looks just like him.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah.
You might consider looking up his channel sometime, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's anyway. But the whole point is he put like 15 rounds downrange really, really fast. Now the question is, did all 15 rounds hit the intended target? I don't know. I think that's the biggest thing that a bill drill will allow you to do, is to go fast, go like really, really fast, and see if you can put all 6 of those rounds on target. Now, what I would like to see is a modified bill drill where you drop 6 rounds on target as fast as you possibly can, and then throttle and try to put one right in the A zone on the head.
Almost like there's another company that has a throttle control target.
Is that Bear?
T-Rex. They have one called throttle control.
You know, so here's the thing. No, hold on a second. Stop. You said T-Rex. So, you know, I gotta throw in this little tidbit here. You know, most people thinks that a T-Rex can't clap because their arms are too short. But the reality is they're all dead.
Or that Satan created the dinosaur bones so that we would not believe that the world's over 3,000 years old.
Anyway, go ahead.
Google it.
Okay,
Google it. No, so the idea, and I went on my tangent about scalability. So the bill drill, the entire thing is throttle and recoil control, and being accurate with especially when it comes to handgun, being accurate with quick split times and managing the recoil. It's very easy to do like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 second bill drill. I've seen them before. It's not impressive. It is impressive because you're just like, wow, I didn't know you could shoot that slow and still almost miss all the A zones. But the whole idea behind it is the going the fast, the throttle and recoil controls. How fast can you have a fast draw from whatever you're carrying from, either be it level 3, level 6, 8, 10, whatever they're going to come out with next for law enforcement, or your concealed carry rig, and then accurately put 6 rounds on target. And I think the bill drill is a great starting point, because then a lot of companies come out after that and start doing kind of the throttle control and going from a high probability target to a low probability target, and having to navigate's probably a better word, not negotiate with a target. Hey, please stop. Please have all my rounds go in this one little hole. But no, navigate, going fast on big targets and slow down on slower ones. Some that we just talked about. The T-Rex Arms has one called throttle control with the bigger circles and little circles. Rune Nation has one. It's the cold start, where you're shooting one round at a very small shape and then 3 rounds onto a bigger shape, and you're working transitions. Bear Solutions, their target, where it's 2 bigger boxes and a small box where you're going back and forth. So there are the natural progressions following after the bill drill, but bill drill is supposed to be teaching you, hey, get your gun out fast and shoot fast and manage your recoil. And what a lot of people have issues with is, I can take a handgun, I can sit here for about 2 or 3 seconds, get all set, get all gamered out, get my grip set. Some guy with a buzzer asks me if I'm ready. I can nod, and he says go, and I can go from a compressed ready to shooting rather quickly and rather efficiently. What a lot of people start having struggles with is, hey, I carry, I'm just going to use myself example, because what I'm carrying right now is I have a Glock 43 8-ish thing in my pants, and an Enigma and a Harry's holster, carrying appendix, wearing a t-shirt and I'm not wearing my jacket right now, but how fast can you get past all your clothing, establish a good grip, not just a grip, a good recoil managing grip, and then start setting rounds down range in a controllable manner. That starts playing a different thing. Now, going back to our original conversation, that's kind of what this whole thing was supposed to tie into, was the difference between a competition shooter and a self-defense shooting. And now, if I was given a Staccato or a Nighthawk or some very expensive gun in a very expensive holster that pretty much just holds the trigger and puts a little plug in the hole, and it's set up perfectly, and I have all the time in the world to get set, and get a good buzzer to tell me when to go, you can be pretty quick on that. I think a lot of people can be quick on that, and that's why a lot like USPSA has such a bad name, because it becomes more of a money game now, to a shooting game. You have gamer guns, you have gamer rigs, you have all that stuff. But then you start taking guys that have anywhere from their grandpa's Model 19 and a Uncle Mike's holster in their pants, or you have guys that spend a little bit more money and buy some sort of nice quality semi-auto and nice quality holsters. And then you're taking those guys and say, hey, you carry this every day in some sort of position, to be appendix, 3 o'clock, hips, behind hips, FBI, ankle. And now you're telling that person to perform at a level like a USPSA Grandmaster would, with whatever they show up out of the range with. So that's why we kind of were talking about it in the beginning, and that's why Bill Drill got brought up again, was that we are now seeing people are expecting to have these 2.5 second bill drills with a Taurus G2C and a got your 6 holster that got on Amazon.
Yep. Which is obviously some really, really good points, and I think that pretty much covers the bill drill at this point. But let's move on real quickly as we close out the hour. Let's talk about workout. Let's talk about fitness. That is going to be one of our last segments that we're going to talk about in each one of these episodes. This week, let's talk about deadlifts. What is so important about deadlifts? Why should people focus on this type of lift outside of, say, just your standard, like, I don't know, squat or bench press or whatever else? Do you think that deadlift?
I'm glad I didn't read these notes beforehand,
right?
Because I'm going to hurt a lot of people's feelings.
He's thinking.
If you aren't doing competitive powerlifting, deadlift is not what you should be focused.
Oh, lies.
No, it's 100% truth, man. And the reason why is what you are getting out of the deadlift can be mimicked in a lot. So here's my hot take on deadlifts. If you have been trained correctly and practice deadlifting and do adequate warm-ups and actually move into a solid progression for building a good 1 rep max, or even some sort of heavy weight under for max reps. If you're not doing that stuff correctly, you're just going to hurt yourself and you're not going to get anything out of it. And everyone knows, like, because you can go to any Instagram channel or any guy and say, hey, when's the last time you saw someone deadlift? And they can instantly tell you, like, oh, yeah, there's all these guys that were round backs and they'll do this and they'll do that. And they just hurt themselves. Or you have the guys that will eagle lift trying to rip out 405 or what's the next one up, 495s, or they just try to rip out these ridiculous weights just for the clout of deadlifting. There's a lot more you can do if you want to build a strong kind of, I think it's called like a posterior chain, where you start looking at doing going from glutes to back to grip strength. There's a lot safer options that you can do that will get you better results than just doing the traditional deadlift.
That's actually really good to hear, because, well, at least my back really likes to hear that, because one of the ailments that I have as I grow older is
being a fat piece of shit.
Well, besides being that, is is my degenerative disc disease. I have a ruptured disc in my L4, L5 that causes sciatica. It causes tons of different problems in my back. I have to be extremely intentional with my lifts, and I have to be extremely careful on making sure that my strength is proportionate, not only in my back, but in my abs as well, and making sure that my core strength is maintained is another important piece. So it's actually really kind of refreshing to hear, because I see a lot of people do deadlifts. I follow a number of different people on Instagram and, check in to see what they're doing and so on and so forth. And it's a lot of deadlifts. See a lot of people doing deadlifts, and yeah, it's cool, man, because you can lift. If you do it correctly, you could do it. You could do a lot of weight, and that's really cool. You see all that weight on that bar and someone picking it up off the ground. And then you get the powerlifting chicks who start peeing themselves.
So the while yes, the deadlift is a great test of strength, what a lot of people get that mixed up with is there's a lot that goes in the background for building a good deadlift. If you just go to the gym and just deadlift every day for 2-3 weeks, you're just going to end up hurting yourself, which you do that with any lift. What's going to happen. But if you want to build up a heavy deadlift, you're not going to be deadlifting. When we say deadlift, I want to talk about it's the traditional deadlift where your hips are either, or your legs are either wow, man. It's been a while since I talked about this, since someone hasn't really been to the gym and I had to explain things into things. So when your feet are within your shoulders or in around hip length, hip width apart. Yeah, that's the words I want to use. We're not talking about traditional sumo. We're not talking about Romanian deadlifts. We're just talking about the very traditional style of deadlifting. And that does play there is a time and a place for it, just like anything else in this world, to deadlift and to work on a deadlift. But there's a lot more you can do that's safer for your back, especially your lower lumbar and where your hips connect to your spine. I'm no doctor, but my chiropractor yells at me all the time for that area being all messed up. Besides just doing traditional deadlifts for heavy weights, heavy weight for high volume.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's good to hear. And these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in each one of our episodes. That's going to pretty much cover it for this inaugural Season 1, Episode 1.
What time are we at right now?
We are at 57 minutes.
57 minutes? Yeah, I know I started my watch a little late, but I thought we would be a lot later than that. Yeah. Are we trying to keep this on, try to keep this about an hour?
Yeah, I would like to keep it about an hour. Just for, the audience, and they don't get overly bored, I guess. I don't know.
Overly bored?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I do appreciate everybody listening. If you guys are interested in, being a part of this, feel free to reach out to us. We will have an email address in the description of the podcast, so you guys can put in your comments, complaints, manifestos, or anything at all. We would love to hear from you guys. In addition to that, if there are topics that you want to hear about, you can send those in as well. We've got 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Jefe, last word. Not all at once.
30 seconds. Okay. Hey, for all my guys out there listening, find yourself a good woman and marry her and have lots of kids. That's wise words from a guy that's waited way too long for doing it. Start young, get as many as you can, and love all of them.
Oh man, that's wow. I can't. Yeah. I can't.
Deep.
Yeah, that was deep.
We're going deep.
Can't top that. My last word is train. Go out and train. I don't care what you're doing. Go out and train, whether it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, at the range, LARPing on the flat range, in the gym. It doesn't matter. Go train and read a book.
Go find a good woman, have lots of kids, then go train so when October 13th happens, you're ready.
Okay, there you go. That's tomorrow.
There you go.
All right.
I'll tie it
in. Once again, guys, thanks for swinging by Live, Laugh, LARP. We really are excited to get this going and hope you guys will enjoy the ride. So share this with your friends, and we will catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.